All right, give it to me.
Oh, we're off to a great start, aren't we? The following contains offensive language and spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
That's a good one. You picked a good one this week. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. Nurse, you bullying host Leroy, aka the Big Beautiful Bill, with my co-host.
All right. Yeah, this is Eli, aka Pumpkin Spice Cheesecake.
There we go. Another pumpkin spice theme. Okay. Appreciate. Oh, and also shout out to our third co-host, the AI. Got to give a shout out to them.
Oh, hell the Doombots.
Give a shout out to them because they're the reason all this bullshit is happening right now. The reason we're a little bit later than we normally get because they put up another update and I had to figure this shit out before we get on there. So that's it. So don't know if anybody can see what we see, but for right now, we are doing another. Well, we had to choose between the formats. We got a horizontal format and we got a vertical format. So Eli prefers the horizontal format, but our boss YouTube prefers us to do vertical. So I just work here. So I just do what YouTube tells me to do. You know? So, but depending on how this goes forward, we're going to depend on where we go next with this. So let's see. Oh, also Eli, the comments are automatic side. So I don't know how that's going to work. So yeah.
Oh, so we have no control. Oh, hey, Gabe's in the house. What's up?
Oh, we got a good one. Yeah, Eli, we have no control over what the comments are.
Oh, damn. So they're just, we can't screen them or anything.
We can't scream it. They're just going to come in. So,
all right, yeah.
So be ready for anything, y'all. We have no control over this podcast anymore. It's just AI just does whatever they want to do. So yeah, we're just here. We just work here. All right. Now before we get into it, also, Big Daddy YouTube also made a request for us, Eli. Not just choose the option. They also wanted us to do a Black Friday shout out.
Okay.
They just said that if we do anything involving Black Friday, they would boost us up a little bit. So I was like, okay, give us a break. Oh, before we get into all the podcasts, don't forget to do that. Ooh, look at all these graphics. Look at all these graphics.
Ooh, look at that. Ooh,
all this shit just all over the screen, man. Yeah.
Moving on up.
All the big books going right there. So
finally got a piece of the pie.
All right. So yeah. So the point is, what I got to talk about is that they want to talk about Black Friday, and Black Friday is this weekend, so we're going to talk about Black Friday. There's a whole lot of shit on the screen, man. I'm trying to focus on what the fuck going on. Anyway, point is, we're going to talk about, Black Friday. This is not an advertisement.
I'm talking about the movie Black Friday.
What movie? Okay, let me talk about what I'm talking, and then you talk about the Black Friday. Because they just said, Big Daddy YouTube just said talk about Black Friday. So if you want to talk about some 80s horror movie, I'm assuming that's what it is, have at it. I don't care. But I will say this: Black Friday, for everybody that's getting ready to shop and get ready to do the thing this weekend or this Friday. What isn't it next Friday? It's next Friday, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever it is. They just said talk about it. I don't care. So the point is, what I want everybody to know right now, that Black Friday is not a thing. Not anymore. Doesn't exist. Figment of your imagination. A construct, if you will. Because Eli, right now, if you tell your kids about, back in my day, we used to fist fight in Walmart over a 32-inch RCA TV, they can look at you crazy. They don't know what that is. They don't know what that feeling was like.
Why didn't you just have Alexa bring it to you?
Right. Why didn't you have a drone fly you in or some shit like that? You're like, no, that wasn't what it was like that. It was back then. It was rough. It was, you kids don't understand how easy you have it nowadays. They sound old, but I mean, that's what it is. That's if you complain about Black Friday, that's what you sound like right now. Because right now, Black Friday is an easy breezy day. You see a big sale, boom, order it on Amazon. Boom, order on Walmart. Order whatever the fuck you want to and have it sent to your house. It's okay. Nobody's leaving the house. You ate all this bullshit on Thanksgiving. You don't feel like going anywhere. Order your stuff. You're off. There you go. So this,
or you're broke,
or you're broke, or all three of those. That's why everybody was fist fighting. They barely got enough to get one TV. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, so all the fist fights and
$20.
Nobody's gonna fist fight this Friday. Just saying. So
the good old days when we,
right.
Black Friday brawls.
Crazy enough, this podcast is old enough to remember doing this bullshit.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. We're getting up there.
We're getting up there. So yeah. So now it's not a thing. Everybody knows that thing. Now, Eli, we're gonna keep the algorithm going. Eli, talk about your 80s horror movie that I'm pretty sure
it's not the 80s. It came out a couple years ago. It's just it's got Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead and Black Friday horror flick. Yeah, that's all.
Is it about Black Friday?
Yeah, you work at a store and like demons come in the store and shit. And
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Check it out. Black Friday. Got something to do.
Gotcha. Okay. We have done our due diligence. Big Daddy YouTube. Leave us the fuck alone now. All right. Let's move on. Now we're going to move into the actual podcast. Like I said, now we were going to do this last week, but I feel like there was too much podcast for the podcast. Last week was our longest podcast we ever did.
Yeah, and we should have just did it.
And we talked about one subject. That's it. So,
yeah.
So there
I'm burnt out on this shit now.
Right. So there was no way we were going to fit both of those subjects into one podcast. Otherwise, we'd be like 4 hours and shit like that. You know, some of us have to work. So yeah.
Well, it didn't have to be 4 hours. It seems that whenever we don't have shit to talk about, that's when we ramble on.
We did. We talked about, we're going to do Predator. That's it. Predator.
That was like 15 minutes.
Then went on other shit.
Then we talked about
Okay. So I did a half hour on Final Crisis. Whatever, doesn't matter. Point is, that's besides the point. Point is, we are here now. We're going to talk about Frankenstein. Now, before we talk about Frankenstein, because like I said, I saw Frankenstein last week. It was actually been in theaters, I don't know, like a month ago, and it finally hit Friday this week. And was like, okay, we got let's see what happens. You know. So I watched it, and now can we go to some Frankenstein lore? Not deep lore. I'm just saying. Okay.
We can, yeah.
Now, Eli, I want to be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I did not know anything about the source material on Frankenstein going into this. Nothing. The closest thing I knew about, first off, growing up, I didn't know Frankenstein.
But you are aware of Frankenstein as a concept, as a thing.
Well, I knew about Frankenberry. So I knew that.
That's part of it.
Now, I will say this. If anybody old enough, if you remember Frankenberry, if you ate that shit, you probably ain't around anymore. I'm just saying. This shit probably took you out. Blame it on Frankenberry. A lot of that shit. Eli, why did they have cereal as a health food back then in the 80s? It was not. It was not.
All that
don't
red
eat that shit
and
before
sugar.
Yeah, don't eat that shit before you play baseball and no shit like that. What the fuck was wrong with us, man, back in the 80s? Milk was a health thing like that? No. Oh, hold up. What we got? Oh, sorry, Gabe. We're getting off subject. Gabe, keep us on track, okay?
Yeah.
Before we go on tangent. Let's keep
He's into it. He seems to be entertained.
Okay. Back to Frankenstein. Okay. Point is, I didn't know anything about Frankenstein until like I was in my adult years. I didn't know Frankenstein wasn't the monster. I just thought that was just Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, remember Boris Karloff? I just thought that was Frankenstein. I just call it Frankenstein. That's what it is. You know.
Well, most of what pop culture knows about Frankenstein is derived from the Universal Monsters. That movie. But that movie is very loosely based on the original novel. So
yeah, very loosely based. I didn't know how, but like I said, I don't know because I never watched that movie. I haven't watched any of the Frankenstein adaptations. The Robert De Niro one, didn't watch none of them.
Because
that's what I'm saying. When I going into this, I knew nothing about the source material.
That's weird because it's funny because I rewatched a bunch of the Universal Monster movies during October.
Yeah.
You know, I watched the House of Frankenstein trilogy, which is like the only like canon where it's like a continued sequels, like a storyline. You know, probably the first movie trilogy ever, maybe that were actually that had a canon story. Because most of those movies, they just were reboots, new actors, new storylines. But the House of Frankenstein, Frankenstein meets Dracula or Wolfman, that's an actual storyline through all of them.
First cinematic universe. Because that predates Godzilla, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 20, 30 years. I was like in the 30s and shit. Yeah.
I figured that. Like I said, going back to what is, I don't even know what I'm going to click right here. What is this? Like Young Frankenstein. That's the shit I knew about it. And Young Frankenstein has nothing to do with Frankenstein. You know what's fucked up about that movie, Eli? I didn't know it was a comedy.
Ritz. No. You didn't know
Seriously,
it was a comedy?
I didn't know it was a comedy. So I was watching. I was like, I don't. What is this?
Were you scared? Did this movie scare you?
I don't. I was like, am I supposed to be scared? What the fuck is going on? I was like, why? I didn't realize later on. Oh, Mel Brooks.
Like, you didn't get this? Wasn't like Large Marge from Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
No, I didn't freak out on this comedy. I was just like, okay, now, and then I watched it as an adult. I was like, oh, it's a comedy. I'm supposed to laugh at this shit. Okay, I get it now. But I didn't know. I thought this was the Frankenstein movie, the one that you just talked about, Boris Karloff. I thought this was it. I thought it was like a prequel. I didn't know.
I love that how our review of Frankenstein totally differs from what I've been seeing online. There's like deep dives into the lore and Mary Shelley and her life and all.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, but we're gonna talk about Young Frankenstein
takes
first.
on Frankenstein, and here we are. I didn't know if Young Frankenstein was a comedy.
What else we got here?
The bullies, the bullies.
Also, we got to talk about this. I know you're gonna hate this. Van Helsing. That is the most I know about Frankenstein. You know I watch Van Helsing every Halloween.
Oh yeah, Van Helsing.
Yeah,
is that your Halloween movie?
That's when I realized that Frankenstein wasn't the monster.
Okay.
Watching that. That's it. Okay.
We'll watch the Monster Squad. That's like one of my favorite flicks.
Monster Squad. Frankenstein was on that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was a good guy.
He was a good guy. The club. And that's when I started
realizing
I always thought like Frankenstein was this big monster, stuff like that. But every Frankenstein adaptation always had him like, oh, he was like a victim. He was like the good guy, or not even say good guy, but like the victim, everything that's going on. Everybody was coming after him. What else we got here? Oh, we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna talk about that. Oh, yes. But first off, we're gonna talk about. I lost it. Point is, we gotta talk about Incredible Hulk. Yes. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It is a very much direct, I ain't gonna say ripoff, but homage of Frankenstein. Like Stan Lee said it. Like it wouldn't even, this ain't even nothing to interpret. He straight up said it. I want to make a Frankenstein. Like basically, because the thing is with Frankenstein, like in the lexicon of American history and things like that, or just history, world history in general, like anytime you talk about a mad scientist, you basically is synonymous with Frankenstein.
That's Mary Shelley. She pretty much invented sci-fi, invented the mad scientist trope.
Yeah, like a lot of people say she invented like gothic horror. It's like the first horror novel, and she invented science fiction. Like that's what I'm saying. Like horror and science fiction, they're basically like first cousins. Sometimes they can dip. Like when you see some horror movies, they will dip into science fiction in the sequel. Some science fiction movies will dip into horror in the sequel because they kind of play in the same field. Like that. You can say Frankenstein is the first zombie.
Yeah, basically, but the whole science gone wrong thing. Yeah, mad scientists doing their experiments and shit. That's like that. Mary Shelley invented that shit. So,
like Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, The Fly, Reanimator, Back to the Future, Nutty Professor. Yeah, that's all ties back to Mary Shelley and Frankenstein. I mean, those would not exist without Frankenstein.
Yeah, Gabe, I'm glad you said it. That is a dead giveaway. If I hear somebody say Static Shock, I know they perpetrating. That's all. It's a dead giveaway for that one. Yeah. But yeah, that's what's going on with that one. Let me see. Like I said, Eli, we were gonna eventually lure Dav in it when I get past that bullshit I was talking about. But yeah. And it was another one I want to get to. Anyway, I was gonna talk about. Damn it. Okay, so like I said, there was a novel. The novel's like 200 years old. So sorry, this is going to be a spoiler-filled podcast on a 200-year-old novel. So if you haven't read it or seen it or haven't watched any adaptation or watched the Robert De Niro movie in the 90s, sorry, you're fucked. Sorry, because we're going to go balls deep in this bitch. This is what I was trying to say. Nope, not that. The thing I was trying to do, Eli, I can't find it. Fuck. It's always something, man. Anyway. Point was, I was trying to, what I was trying to find?
Your PowerPoint presentation.
It's all fucked. It's all gone now. It doesn't matter.
You're going more deeper than I was.
Yeah, I was. What I was trying to do, that Frankenstein was in DC. That was what I was trying to find.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, like Creature Commandos, whole thing like that. Matter of fact, Creature Commandos is canonical to James Gunn's DC universe going on right now because he wrote it. So Frankenstein exists in the same universe as Superman and Peacemaker and all these other guys like that. He's there. He's in there. And it's pretty much the exact same adaptation. They asked him, like, in Creature Commandos, like, wait a minute, are you the Frankenstein? He's like, yeah, they wrote that on a real story, like in the continuity of the story, of course, things like that. Like I said, Frankenstein in DC is basically, they just basically turned him to a Hellboy ripoff. Like he's so close to Hellboy. I don't know why they didn't sue on that shit.
Well, he can't like Creature Commandos. I think predates Hellboy. I mean, that was like the 80s and shit.
Okay, Creature Commandos does, but you know, in the New 52, they kind of rebooted a little bit and kind of put Frankenstein to the forefront.
Like
and then they had Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, and he had all these like hell weapons, and he fought demons and shit like that. Like, oh man, y'all wrong for this shit. This
well,
did
you ever the Wachowskis? They had their comic line, was it Burly Man or whatever, and they had Doc Frankenstein, which was great. And
who played in that?
No, it's a comic. The Wachowskis wrote it, and it was basically Frankenstein's monster as an immortal who fights fascists in the future.
That's Hellboy.
Pretty cool.
So they ripped off Hellboy.
Basically, yes, yes, it's But Hellboy is kind of an homage to Frankenstein as well. You know,
now that you got to elaborate on for that.
Well, as far as a misunderstood monster, and that's the theme of Frankenstein, the book. Like the creature really isn't the monster; he's just misunderstood. It's the world that's a monster. Who made him a monster?
Okay, you know? I agree with you on that. I go with you on that one. Okay, so let me see what we got here with Gabe. I know very little about the DC character. Frankenstein is kind of fun. Gabe.
Read
Rock World. Because the thing is, they found out that Frankenstein was a part of the gray. Like you got Swamp Thing with the green and all, and the red,
Animal Man,
so like that. Yeah, so Frankenstein part of that. Like the anti-life, like we reviewed him in Final Crisis last week. Like the anti-life equation doesn't work on him because he ain't alive. So yeah. So he's kind of like a fun character when they got him cooking. But definitely read Rock World. Rock World's awesome. So yeah. We should we get one? We're not gonna do it anytime soon, Eli. But
I'm hoping like James Gunn adapts that. That would be dope.
No, he's got to do that sanction run or some bullshit from I don't know.
But he's got they're supposed to be doing Swamp Thing and Justice League Dark, and they were supposedly, yeah. And it would make sense to adapt that artwork, especially as he got Frankenstein in the world already. Like I said, they're doing Creature Commandos and shit already.
They're ready to go.
So,
yeah.
So. And a Swamp Thing, like you're there, right? You know, just
already there, ready to go. Man. Yeah.
Chris Pratt is Animal Man.
Oh hell no! Don't put him anywhere in the DCU. But that's okay. Like I said, so that's what we're talking about. I didn't know anything about it. So going into this, like Eli, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna just give it like a quick review of what I think about not Swamp Thing, Frankenstein. Now, going into this, like I said, you got they built this up as the first horror movie. I mean, the first horror story, the first sci-fi story, the first zombie story. I was like, there's something. Oh, I'm gonna see some gore and people just ripped off, and it's gonna be like this slasher, horror or something like that. But it really wasn't that. What it was more like a deep character story, or about relationships between like fathers and sons. And I kind of wasn't. It kind of threw me for a little bit. Like I wasn't expecting that. Like, okay, this like a deep story. Like he has like really good acting in here, stuff like that, and exploring like nature of man and nature versus nurture and fathers and sons and the absence of mothers and the Oedipus complex.
All that religious,
the man playing God on stuff like that. And it's okay. I'm like, oh, y'all throw me for a loop on this one. I was expecting like some kind of like dumb monster movie. I was expecting like R-rated Van Helsing. That's what I was expecting.
You're waiting for Igor to show up, Master.
Yeah. Hold up, where was Igor? Where is Igor a thing in?
No, Igor was from the universe. There's no Igor in the original novel. That's all Universal.
Okay, that kind of fucked me up, Eli, because I was thinking like, where's Igor? And I kept pointing at, is that Igor? Is that a guy? Is he gonna Igor? Like, nope. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Gilmore, you fucking up already, man. So there was no Igor in the movie. That's it. So
this is bullshit. Where the fuck is Igor?
Right. I'm glad you telling me that, Eli, because I was kind of like, damn, I thought they were gonna give me Igor, man. I guess they decided. I guess they had room to put it in there. But
Chris Pratt as Igor.
As Igor, right? So there is no Igor. Igor doesn't exist.
No,
okay.
that's just a universe. Like I said, most of what people know of what pop culture and the zeitgeist of what we know about Frankenstein comes from the Universal monster.
Okay.
Universal Pictures.
I'm glad you're telling me that. So it's a lot of things I didn't know now. So yeah. Learn about Frankenstein and people saying like, who's the man, who's the monster? Frankenstein isn't the monster. Frankenstein's the man. But Eli, I beg to differ. I think Frankenstein is the man and the monster. First, Frankenstein is a man and a monster. They call him a monster. However, I think the monster is Frankenstein also.
Yeah.
Well, at
that's the
least
point,
how
yeah.
it now, like I said, if they talking about Mary Shelley's novel, I'm sorry, I didn't read the novel. I did look at some TikToks reviewing it. So I'm up to speed a little bit on it. But the thing is about it that I
Look at
don't
you on
know.
TikTok.
Yeah, I hate TikTok, but I at least use it for that. So
The Cliff Notes. The Cliff Notes.
yeah, I hate TikTok, but at the same time, I'm going to use it for a reason I don't like TikTok. So yeah, but the point is that I think the movie was trying to like I said, the movie, not the novel. If it's different, then it's different. Because I know the movie does differentiate from the novel a little bit, but I know the movie was trying to basically connect fathers and sons. And if he is passing down, it does make him Frankenstein. So I think so. So I think it's all connected. So, and basically this is a whole, I ain't gonna say Oedipus complex, and it could be an Oedipus complex because we know that Victor Frankenstein has an Oedipus complex in the movie, because that's the whole point reason. Like, did you notice that he only drank milk in the movie?
I didn't know. I did not notice that. No.
The TikTok videos didn't show you that. No, the TikTok video
I didn't see that. No.
Oh,
I
damn.
didn't see that. I didn't notice that.
Okay, you're supposed to be a TikTok guy.
No, but I did watch a lot of TikToks, but I didn't notice. No, I didn't watch any milk videos.
Okay. Well, you got to remember how my feed is. That's a whole different situation.
I did watch a lot of stuff, but no, that's interesting. No, I find that interesting. I did not. Yeah. I'm just saying I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
and I'm just wow. That's
it's all connected. It's all connected to his Oedipus complex. Also, did you notice? And I saw this in behind the scenes, all like that Mia Goth, like you know who Mia Goth is, obviously you do. Mm-hmm. But she played his girlfriend and his mother.
And the mother, I didn't know.
And she played both of them. Yeah.
I didn't find that out till after I watched the movie. Like I did
on
not
TikTok.
know that. I think it was TikTok.
I tell you what, after this podcast, we're going to direct you to the TikTok videos we saw. How about that? That's going to do for all the listeners. So yeah,
but search Frankenstein, Del Toro's Frankenstein.
Right, but it's all related. It's all connected. If you got somebody drinking milk all the time, he basically fell in love with his mother. All that is Oedipus. It's all Oedipus complex. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Well, I mean I don't know if I agree totally with that, but I do see the connection of where Victor's life went from being kind of compassionate to then being an asshole because his mom was more nurturing, and then she died, and then he was left with his shitty father who abused him, and then turned him into an abusive asshole.
Right.
So, yeah.
What would they say? Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, that. And I think he never got over the grief of his mother, which is why he wanted to conquer death. You know, and so that angel, I mean, we can get into symbolism later, but I found that interesting as far as like, when I found out that Mia Goth played his mom, and it was actually his brother's wife, and he was just creeping on his brother's wife.
Right.
It's made him even more of a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, kind of make his brother a piece of shit. Also, it's his mother too. So I don't know.
No, I mean, like the mom, like Victor was creeping on his brother's wife.
Oh yeah, definitely was. So yeah, which I think they changed that from the novel. I think it was a different relationship. But
it's been a while, but I actually started rereading the novel the other day.
I think it was his cousin in the novel or some shit like that.
I don't remember, but I did read the scholastic version of Frankenstein when I was like in 5th grade or whatever, grade school, and I did a book report on it. My dad got me a bunch of classics illustrated comic books because he wanted me to read shit like Black Beauty and Call the Watch, shit he was into. Yeah. Wanted me not get away from superheroes and read something, of importance. So he got me classics illustrated, but it included Frankenstein and War of the Worlds. And that's the one shit I like. Journey to the Center of Earth, fucking Moby Dick and Frankenstein and Dracula was in there. So I read a comic book version of Dracula
Frankenstein. Now, was it like the Mary Shelley novel? Or did you
it starts out it starts out in the North Pole.
Dude, us too. Shit.
Yeah. Leroy said Oedipus. I'm just like thinking, okay, I'm
now keep in mind that wasn't even a TikTok thing. That was just me recognizing this shit. I was like, okay, he's on some Oedipus shit right now. Because and the funny thing that before let's just sidetrack for a second, Eli. I'm not gonna get into some weird psychological shit right now. I'm just saying that the point is that now, like I said, the only thing I knew about Frankenstein growing up was Frankenberry. That was it, So the fact that, and when you actually read the novel and it has all these deep themes and psychological discussion, people having discussions about what the themes of this movie for 200 years, that's kind of mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
Even the fact that this movie, even though it is, fairly accurate to the novel, but it does vary, because the thing is, it varied because at the same time it's Del Toro's vision of what he took away from the novel. Yeah. So that's why it varies, because that's what he took away from. He want to accentuate that stuff right there. And the fact that you have people, having these deep philosophical discussions on Frankenstein, to me, that's kind of mind-blowing. That's just kind of like, I never considered or even thought that Frankenstein would be a big discussion of anything like that. Oh
no, that's why it's been adapted so many times.
Right.
For the past, like, it was done. I think the first one was a play, and before they made film. Like, so this is a timeless story that just keeps being retold. And I think because of those themes are so universal, and it brings up these ideas of man versus monster, and the mother nurturing versus abuse, and man trying to play God and all that shit. I mean, I think that's why it's so timeless, and you can deep dive into this into this story.
Like I said, because there is a rabbit hole for this. I didn't know there was a Frankenstein rabbit hole.
Oh yeah,
it exists. But I didn't mean to throw us off, but we can keep talking about some other stuff that's going on in this movie. Like I said, now that we talking about the generational trauma of abusive fathers. Like I said, Victor had an abusive father, and he was abusive to the monster.
Yeah,
just because, like I said, we can keep talking about this thing like, he just wanted to make this creature. He wanted to make it like the perfect creature. You think that?
Because Victor was Victor had I want to say Oedipus. I say he had a God complex. He was trying to play God.
He had both. He had a God. Yeah, he definitely had a God complex.
He was trying to play God, and he didn't view the creature as a life form. He viewed the creature as something of vanity, a symbol of his own vanity. Look what I did. Look at what I can do. I'm this brilliant scientist who can bring people back to life. Look at me. And then, because he didn't appreciate the life that he created, and because it was essentially a child, like an infant, and didn't know anything. That's why he started abusing it and rejecting it, because it didn't live up to his idea of what he should be.
Bam. That's what I was about to say, because the monster, I ain't gonna say monster, but the creature didn't come out how he thought it was going. He didn't live up to his expectations.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of fathers, abuse their kids when they feel, oh, you don't live up to this, I'm going to be rough and abusive on you because you didn't live up to my standard of what you're supposed to be.
And then you have Elizabeth, who was like a biologist who studied life.
Right.
Like the exact opposite of Victor, who studied death.
Right.
She saw the empathy. She was compassionate. She saw, that this was a living thing, and she showed the creatures some nurturing and compassion.
And that's where I'm starting to see the creature having an Oedipus complex. It goes deep. Like
this
I said,
is on you, man.
This is not me. This is not me projecting. I'm just saying. Because the thing is, what the creature fell in love with Elizabeth because in his mind, Elizabeth was the only mother figure he knew. If Victor was his father and Elizabeth coming all the time and he falls in love with his mother figure, it's all psychological. It's all there.
I don't know. I don't totally disagree with that. Or agree with that. I totally disagree with that, is what I'm trying to say. Because I think he was after nurturing. He was after compassion and empathy, because then he befriends the blind man who became his friend. And that's all he wanted, was friendship, was companionship, was community. That's what he was yearning for. And then when he asked Victor to make him a companion, aka the bride, that's all it was, is I don't want to live this shitty ass life. Because to him, life sucked. Life was shitty because he was a reject and an outcast. And like, if I got to be alive and I can't die, at least give me someone to hang out with. And that's all it was.
Now that's what I want to get into, because you talked about him wanting a bride. That is the book of Genesis.
Okay. And that's not in the book, in the original book. The bride is from Universal. Yes, in the original novel, he wanted a companion, and Victor started to create one, but then he destroyed it before it was done.
Because he realized what would happen if they procreated, or they even thought of it.
Thus enraging the monster, and the monster went on a rampage after that, and and
started killing all his loved ones, stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying. So I won't even say, well, it is the Book of Genesis, but it's also Paradise Lost. For those who don't know Paradise Lost, I'm not going to get into it. But the point is that that's one of the first books that
Paradise Lost is in the book, is in the movie.
It's in the movie. Yes, he read Paradise Lost. Yeah. And I'm almost thinking that's where he got the idea of getting a bride, because for those who don't know, I'm going to give a rundown for the Book of Genesis for those people don't know. So that's Adam. Adam was the God's creation, and Adam wanted a companion. He asked God for a companion. So he took a part of his rib, and boom, that's where Eve came from. So Adam I ain't going to say Adam. Frankenstein's monster, the creature, wanted the same thing as Adam. That's why a lot of people like kind of calling him Adam Frankenstein, like on Twitter and threads and things like that, comparing him to Adam, so like that. And I like
that goes into the whole religious symbolism of Victor trying to play God.
If he's playing God and this is his creation, just like Adam was God. So
the creator and the creation, and like in the lab, the monster was like in a Christ-like pose, So there's all that religious iconography in there. And then the Medusa sculpture. There was a Medusa sculpture in the lab, which was Medusa is this like, misunderstood monster who's been like sort of revamped as this feminist icon that was wronged by the gods,
Right.
So again, another misunderstood monster, Medusa.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, there was other things going on in this movie also that I was going to talk about. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Guillermo del Toro for a second, because he did change up some characterization of Frankenstein's creature, what I meant to say, because the Frankenstein's creature in the novel, like the original novel, was way more murderous than he was in this. Like, think about it. In this, the only creatures that the only people that he killed was in self-defense, like people with guns, people running at him, people that was going to cause him harm. That's the only people he killed. In the novel, that wasn't the case. No, he was killing children.
He was
women.
Ill. Yeah. He went mad,
right.
The world created a monster, and that's what he became, the monster everyone viewed him as.
Right. But that's when we talking about that nature versus nurture type thing. Yeah. Like, did he go mad because of the way the world was treating him, or was it just always like that? The book doesn't answer that question. It's kind of up to us. And that's what people debate on that,
Yeah.
Which is why I think one of the reasons why Guillermo del Toro changed some of the things in it, because he did want to accentuate that part, that the monster was made a monster by the world, not because he was naturally like that, which is one reason why they made a fuckable Frankenstein. We do have to put that in there. This is the first time they made. Yeah.
Yes. If I can interject, Guillermo del Toro making a Frankenstein movie makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because of his work. He loves monsters. We've seen it in all his movies. He loves monsters. He identifies with them. We've seen Hellboy. Humanizing. Hellboy, Shape of Water. He has an affection for monsters, and he portrays them with empathy and emotional depth. And he turned this Frankenstein monster into a sexy Hulk with superpowers.
With superpowers. Wolverine superpowers and stuff. So
Frankenstein's monster in this movie is like a superhero fighting against religious persecution and the ruling class. That's what I got out of it.
So it was just wild to be, like, out of all the things you could do with Frankenstein. Because the thing is, before I even watched the movie, before I even read any reviews or anything like that, I was looking online, just watching people's like review of it. Like, I watched the new Frankenstein. Raw. Next question. I'm like, wait, what are y'all talking about? Like, and I watched about like, oh no, Guillermo del Toro went full Guillermo del Toro. No, he did it again. Because I posted this meme of Eli. Let me see if I can find this meme. I know I'm gonna fuck it up, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, found it. Oh, look at me. Okay, so I posted this meme right here. So the thing is, like, the dude that played him, he's like from Euphoria or some shit like that, Because I know a lot of women said they not attracted to that guy until he turned into sexy Frankenstein. I'm like,
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? What? That doesn't make any sense. But then I started asking women, I'm like, so what is it about? Like, obviously the guy looks like he could be James Bond or some shit like this. Like, what about the guy you don't like? They're like, well, he looks like a fuck boy. I'm like, oh, okay, I can see that.
This is why you know y'all ain't gonna bang any goth chicks.
Right. And then it started making me thinking like the thing you think that chicks like they don't like Eli. That's why we on completely different like planets with this shit. Like, and then it had me thinking like Thor and Loki. Now, you would think that if you put a picture of Thor and Loki in front of them, like most women would go for Thor, right? No.
I think a lot of them do, yeah.
Most would go for Loki. Like Tom Hiddleston, they would go for Tom Hiddleston over Thor.
Well, I know I've heard people digging on Loki too.
Yeah, like because he's the bad boy, mischievous, like that shit attracts women.
Yeah.
Other than
Thor is kind of a douchebag. He's kind of a frat boy.
Yeah, kind of a frat boy type. So yeah. So they really wouldn't go for that, Yeah. So it just made me thinking, like, is this another situation? Like, so it's made me weird that because a lot of women, because they've been trying to make this guy a thing for the longest. But they say like a lot of women are saying like Frankenstein's the first time they found him sexy. I'm like, the fuck? Okay. So that's a rabbit hole I didn't want to go down, but I went down.
Hey, we liked Elvira. I mean, what the fuck?
That's completely different, Eli. Completely different.
Is it?
It's different.
Okay.
Not chick with big titties. No, you got to find me a monster chick. Now, I'm pretty sure if I think about it, there is a monster chick that we're all attracted to, but I can't think about the top of my head. I wish I had time to prepare, but yeah.
Okay. A monster chick.
Yeah, Eli, come on, give it to me. A monster alien chick on top of your head that you would bang. I know this one.
They got to look like human. I mean,
of course they got to look like human. They got to look like human.
Like,
okay. Mystique.
Blue Mystique.
Mystique. Hell yeah! What the fuck are you talking about?
Blue Mystique. Okay.
Not even a question. There we go. We found out one. Okay, we can move on.
Snapping them scales.
Right. Don't change it. Nothing else. Just blue Mystique, furry Mystique. That's it.
Perfection.
Oh shoot. We got way off subject with this.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Right. Oh shoot! I think we talked. But anything else we got to add with Frankenstein?
I mean, I'll tell what I thought about it.
Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I thought, I mean, like all Guillermo del Toro making Frankenstein. First of all, I love del Toro movies. I love his, I love his work, and I was really hyped up for this. And like all del Toro movies, it looks amazing. Cinematography is great. The performances are great. The sets, the big giant sets, are big and epic, and it totally nails the Gothic atmosphere. Mm-hmm. But I felt like this one is his most emotionally charged movie. There was so much feeling,
his personal
heart in this movie. There's an emotional weight that I found very moving. And I always resonated with I've read the Frankenstein books and the comics as a kid. And, I always resonated with Frankenstein as a story. And, since the creature is like a social outcast, which I always related to. And I found that very moving, I like how, at the end, was for me, I felt it was uplifting, where the creature walks into the sunrise, because he said the sun is life. And then he finally forgave his father. They had that really moving moment where Victor basically tells him, live, I gave you life. And this is the only thing finally he got nurturing from Victor, here, live your life, go live
something it. That's all he ever wanted.
Yeah. He finally wanted just some nurturing, just so as the creature walks into the sunrise, it's like, be proud of who you are. Fuck what everybody else thinks. Just walk your own path. And I found that very, very moving. I kind of teared up, so I really liked it. I think the only critique I really have is I felt it was a little long, and
but I think the movie was like 220. I mean, it wasn't like a long movie.
Yeah, I meant like it took a while to get going. It was kind of a slow burn.
It felt long. That's what you're saying, but yeah.
Yeah, like the creature doesn't show up for like over an hour. I felt like they spent a little bit too long on Victor's childhood.
Is that a thing from the novel? Like they go on his childhood like that?
Yeah. Well, the novel isn't that long. I think it's under 300 pages, as I recall.
Okay.
But I'm just saying it felt like a little too long at the beginning. But once it got going, I was really into it. you know, and I like the themes, you know. I like that Victor Frankenstein is just a straight up abusive, arrogant, you know, aristocratic patriarchy prick, you know,
right.
lacking nurturing and empathy, you know, which was in the original Mary Shelley novel. But for me, what I got out of it is I felt it's the ultimate ode to the freaks, you know, the outcast, the rejected, the marginalized, you know, and this message of totally be yourself no matter what anybody else thinks. That's the kind of message I got from it, you know. So yeah, I felt like, you know, as far as like the original novel, it did stray from the original novel, but the themes were still there, sort of, you know, science gone wrong and mankind meddling with things that they shouldn't. And what makes a monster? You know, does the man make the monster? Does the world makes the monster? The world is cruel, therefore creating monsters, you know? And like I said, I like how Elizabeth was the symbol, or like women just seemed to be the symbol of nurturing in this movie. The mother who was dressed in red, and then you had that red angel that he kept seeing, which I felt represented his mother. And then when Elizabeth, when she dies, when she gets shot on her wedding, and she's in her wedding dress, and then the creature carries her to the cave, and then she bleeds out, and she's all red. Her gown turns red, you know. So again, like this, so yeah, you know, women are like symbols of caretaking and compassion and nurturing, you know, versus these men who just who become arrogant and lust for power. So that's what I got out of it. You know, Elizabeth was opposite. You know, she befriends the creature, showing him empathy, where, you know, Victor just viewed him as the creature as like an accomplishment of his own vanity, who just abuses him and then rejects him because he wasn't as smart as he was. You know, yeah, I liked all that. You know, and yes, I did go down a rabbit hole on TikTok. Frankenstein criticism videos where white feminists are pissed off that the movie wasn't directed by a woman.
Well, because we got to think about it, like science fiction, horror, and zombies was invented by a woman.
Yeah.
You
know, and then they're saying that Guillermo del Toro, as a man, does not understand Mary Shelley's book, which I don't agree with. But then you have all these Mexican women defending him and calling them out for failing to recognize, you know, his Mexican heritage and all the anti-oppression, and
because he's putting his own spin on the movie that they can't see.
All the themes that are in all of his movies. He always has these like anti-authoritarian and anti-religious prosecution sort of, or persecution themes in all of his movies, you know. And colonialism, you know, is what labeled the marginalized. You know, colonialism is what defined what a minority was. You know, people of color, women, the disabled.
I'm glad you said that, because honestly, I saw some other symbolism also, basically slavery.
Yes.
Because remember, this book is 200 years old, so that was definitely a fact in it when she was writing this stuff.
Yeah, and that's all he viewed the creature. Victor viewed the creature as a tool.
Yeah.
Not as a life, not as a being, but something to further his work, to get famous off of, as an essentially a tool, like a slave.
And be discarded when he doesn't need him anymore, or
and like I said, like that's the whole colonial construct of defining others as freaks, as
because in the Constitution they didn't see slaves as people.
Yeah, and natives were merciless savages and shit.
Right.
You know.
So the whole classism thing there also. So
yes, and that's all the patriarchy, this colonial mindset of defining what a minority was, what the marginalized was, what the outcast was. It was people of color, it was women, it was the disabled, and the fact that he befriends a blind man. And there's a line in there where he says, "This man who could not see taught me so much." Whereas, like, the disabled were considered freaks.
Right.
You know, circus freaks, circus acts, you know. So that's what I felt like, you know, the creature is like an extension of that, how he's an outcast, you know, overlooked and dismissed and considered a freak, you know, and that's what I always got out of it, you know. There was a lot of, like I said, I watched a lot of, you know, reviews on this and people their different takes on it. And there's a lot of women out there who are looking in all these feminist themes into it. And I think it's awesome. I mean, I'm a dude. I'm looking through my dude eyes, viewing this movie from a dude's perspective. And that's what I got out of it is it's an ode to the rejects. It's an ode to the outcasts, and to say, fuck it, be proud of who you are and forge your own path. That's what I got out of it. But I do like that people are talking about this movie and going deep dive. Because I said, when we talked about the Superman clip of James Gunn and Dave Cornsweet arguing behind the scenes, where it's like people aren't talking about art anymore like they should be, or like they used to. And I like that all these different takes are being brought up.
It didn't feel like he was just cranking out content.
Yeah. I like that. It's causing discussions. It's causing debates. It's causing whether or not this movie passes the Bechdel test or whatever it's called.
Which it doesn't even make any sense because I'm not going to get into that.
But people are debating that, and I just think that's awesome. I think it's cool because that's what we do on here. We talk about art. Comic books are art.
Even though people just want us to talk about who can win versus Batman versus Wolverine, but we like to go deeper than that.
We argue that comic books are a valid form of art and storytelling, and that's why we do this shit.
Right.
You know? So that's why I like that people are talking about it. And even your weird take that Victor wants to fuck his mom and shit.
Hey, that's what I saw, man. That's what I saw. I'm just saying.
I appreciate all views, you know. Just people are talking about art, and I think it should be. You know, people should just talk about art more. You know, because it's fun.
And it's just funny that people are bringing up debates on a 200-year-old story.
That's why we've been doing this shit for over 10 years.
Yeah, we like to go deeper into, like, y'all look at this stupid shit. It's just like I just saw Frankenberry and Frankenstein like that, but meanwhile, it's got all this deep, philosophical thing to it. Like I said, we like to do the same thing with Batman and Superman. Like, if you look deeper into it, there is stuff in there that, themes that resonate through society and politics and everything. Or depending on how society changes, these characters change with society and vice versa. Yeah, we talk about the social commentary of Batman and Superman and the Hulk when we reviewed the Maestro books and all It's all we're trying to say, y'all, it's more to this shit than superhero fights. It's more to it than that. Yeah, I know that's all y'all give a shit about. It's more to it than that. Yeah, and we're just comic book freaks, just forging our own path, the outcasts, walking our own path. So, like I said, we're gonna do 4 out of 5. That's what I know. 4.5 out of 5. The only reason it doesn't get a 5 for me is because of I felt it got a little long. I'm gonna give you the same score. We in agreement on that. 4.5. All right, look at that. We're doing that a lot more lately. Like I said, this movie hit me like it wasn't the movie I thought I was gonna get, but when I accepted what it was, I was like, this movie stuck with me. Like it had me thinking afterwards, and that's what I like when I get a movie. So. The best art. That's what the best art does. It gets it's not supposed to just hit your brain, and then the moment you cut it off, it just leaves and shit. You forget you saw it. No, that's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to stick with you. So that's why I went on. I was watching TikTok reviews all week, and and all these different takes, and they're all interesting. Art is subjective. Art is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We all take different things from what we get out of it. And that's the beauty of it. Right. What you see may not be something that somebody else sees, and sometimes you see shit that the artist didn't even intend for you to see. Right. Because the thing, once you make art and the art leaves your hand, it's up to the audience, the listener, the reader, whatever like that. It's up to them to what they got. And some people might not even like it, and that's cool too. Right. It's a free country. Well, at least this is a free country. So It is so. All right, can we move to Just because someone doesn't like something you don't like doesn't make them a piece of shit, which is what we get on the internet. Which is what the internet does, right? How dare you like that shit? Like, I can like shit. You don't like the Acolyte? You're a racist piece of shit. Right. Or you like the Acolyte, you fucking shield, It goes back and forth. It's all that. How much is this paying you, Yeah. And for the record, we thought the Acolyte was I. No, you thought the Acolyte was I, but we're not gonna get into that. It's got a dope ass lightsaber fight. We're gonna move past that. That's why we stay away from the conversation. So, all right, can we move to the next part of the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, like I said, we're gonna move to the video game section. Otherwise, we just talk about Frankenstein all day. We can move on past that. Okay. Like I said, we're gonna talk about the video game section. Now, the reason I'm gonna talk about the video game section because some big shit happened. That if I can see if I can find, I'm pretty sure I can't find it. Let's see if there's a thing. Hey, on the first try, I found it. Okay, so Valve
console. Okay.
Yes, Valve has announced a new gaming console again. They keep announcing them, and nobody gives a shit. But this is the one people should give a shit about. So this is the one I think everybody should pay attention to, Eli. I think this is going to be the game changer. Matter of fact, I don't think it's going to be a game changer. I think it's going to be a game ender. This is the Steam machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Game
like
over,
like
Eli. Game over. Rest in peace, Xbox. Rest in peace, PlayStation. This is the new thing right here. So what is a Steam machine? So it's basically a PC console hybrid. It's basically got Steam. Yeah, it's got Steam preloaded on it. So you can have Steam account and things like that. You can plug it up directly to your TV. It's like 6 by 6 inches, 6 inches by 6 inches. Like it's kind of small. It's like the size of a GameCube. Plug it to your TV. You can play it with any controller you want. They do have a bullshit, like remember that Gordon Gartrell bullshit controller? It comes with that. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully it's better. That one didn't come to me.
I remember you losing your shit on that.
And then when I watched it, they showed that same controller. I'm like, y'all ain't learn no fucking thing, man. But that's okay. It's okay. Because they said you can use any controller you want with the machine.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you have an Xbox controller, use that. PlayStation controller, use that. Switch controller, use that. You don't have to use that bullshit controller.
Because I've tried Steam, and what keeps me from doing more shit is the controller. I don't have a cool enough computer where I can get a cool enough controller.
Yeah, so if you have an Xbox controller, you can use that controller. Or if you want to use keyboard and mouse, have it.
I can't do that shit.
If you want to. If you don't have to, if you want to, But like I said, you get all your Steam games on this. You got everything on there. And here's the thing, like, I know a lot of people don't know about Steam, but you should know about Steam because there are more Steam accounts active right now than Xbox Live and PlayStation Network combined. Because it's a free network. You play online for free.
Okay, yeah.
They do Steam sales all the time. And again, you can play. They're right there. It's 6 years older than the PlayStation Xbox. So 9 out of 10, it probably should be a faster machine than that. Now, we don't know the price yet. We don't know what the price is right now. They're probably going to slap a hefty price on that bad boy. So we have to wait and see. But if it's 500 or under, I'm going to just get it just to get it. I don't even need it. I'm just buy that bitch and just plug it up and just have it somewhere. So, yeah. Oh, and that's my thing. And so, like I said, it's a PC hybrid console. So can you play other games on it, like Xbox, PlayStation games on it? Kinda. Here's the thing. You can right now it has the Steam OS on it, but you can go buy Windows OS or download it or Windows OS if you know where to get it from. If you do that, you have the Xbox app on it. You can play Xbox games on it. So you're free to play whatever you want to on it whenever you feel like playing it. So that's what I'm saying, Eli. If this thing catches on, if it goes to big box stores like Walmart or something like that, it's game over. If they have this thing 500 under, game over. The console war is over. Nobody's getting it. Nobody. Xbox and PlayStation will be a thing in the past. But
until they create the true virtual reality.
Oh, they announced virtual reality with it also.
Steam?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
That's coming with the same time. So yeah. Like I said, Eli, game over. So yeah. All right. That's CBS. We can move on to the next part of the podcast.
Over, man. Game
over, man. Game over. All right. So we move to the next part. Okay, like I said, this comic book bullies. We're talking about comic books. We're gonna jump into it. Eli, I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna let you jump into it and see what we got.
Well, since there was no native comics this week, should I just do my native comic book character highlight?
Yeah. Let me
start out with that. Let's just do
that. Let's start out with that. Let's see what we got.
Well, since it's November and it's Native Heritage Month, I've been doing every week in November. I've been highlighting a Native American character in comic books. I thought, and I was like, wondering who should I do? I almost did Warpath or Forge, but I'm like, man, I've been doing mutants. We did fucking Danny Moonstar and we did Echo. I was like, okay, I'm doing too much Marvel and mutant shit, Warpath and Forge. I was like, let me try something different. So I went to DC and then I dug out an old classic. I know a lot of people probably don't know much about this character, but this is Arak.
I don't know about this character.
Arak, Son of Thunder.
Okay.
He's basically a native barbarian. Now, I was reading these as a kid. I did not know he was native when I first read it as a kid. I just thought he was just another barbarian, another Conan novel.
I mean, he just looked like Conan, so yeah.
Yeah, like right there. See, he looks like Conan right there. I had no idea he was supposed to be native. I just thought he was a barbarian dude fighting monsters with swords and axes. And it wasn't until I was older that I found out that he was a native, you know. So basically, Arak, son of thunder, he is, you know, his father was like a thunder god, and his village got destroyed by some monsters, and then his mom threw him on a canoe.
So he's like half god or something?
Yeah. You're kind of like a Thor, yeah.
No, he's Hercules. That's exactly what everything. Keep explaining, but what you explain is Hercules. But okay.
Yeah. So his village got attacked. His mom threw him in a canoe and sent him out to sea, where he is found by a bunch of Vikings on a boat, and the Vikings sort of adopt him, you know, and raise him as their own. And he, you know, he grows up, you know, learning to fight, warring, going on Viking raids and shit. And then later on, he grows up and goes on adventures like Conan and fights monsters and wizards and, you know, other creatures from Greek and Norse and other classical mythology, Oriental Asian mythology and all that, you know. And that's kind of what it is. It's just a, you know, and it came out in the early 80s, you know, when Conan the Barbarian was huge and Dungeons and Dragons was getting popular, and Sword and Sorcery and Lord of the Rings and all this fantasy stuff was all getting big, you know, and that's when he came out, and he was created by Roy Thomas.
Right. I was creating Vision and wrote some of my favorite Avengers comics, but
yes, Roy motherfucking Thomas.
Stan Lee called him Roy the Boy, but yeah.
Yeah. And he wanted to do sort of like a fantasy sword and sorcery kind of story, but he wanted to do it a little different, and that's why he chose to do a native character. And I guess this is considered one of the more positive representations of native characters in comic books, because he didn't speak like a caveman, like Apache chief, like, you know, me smoke them place pipe, you know, he didn't have broken English when he spoke, you know. So he's considered like a more, you know, one of the better representations of a native hero. And like I said, when I first saw him, I didn't know he was native. I just thought he was another barbarian dude. Later on, he cut his hair and he got a mohawk. And then he started looking like a fucking Atlanta Brave after that.
In the same run?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And this only went on for a few years. I don't know how, you know. I
was
think
Roy still writing it at the time when he did it?
Yeah. Okay. And it was just another fantasy book, you know. And it's all, he just travels the world fighting monsters, you know. So there's really no, I mean, there's like some native, like, you know, his original tribe, and there's certain ceremonies, but other than that, there's not a lot of like the stereotypical native mysticism or anything about his culture, really, other than his father was a god. And
what tribe was he from?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
But that's what I'm saying, like Thunder God, that's Zeus. Hercules.
Yeah. You know, I don't think he was going for total accuracy as far as, you know, what his tribal affiliation. But I, like I said, I read this as a kid, read it for a while, and I just, like I said, I was into Conan and shit, and I just thought he was a barbarian dude, and didn't realize till I was older that he was a native. And really, oh shit, was not aware. So now y'all are aware. Arak, Son of Thunder. If you're into fantasy, Conan, Lord of the Rings, sword and sorcery shit, check it out. And written by Roy Thomas, one of the
you could review one of his books.
Yeah, I could have.
Yeah, I was saying you could have just did that, but yeah, okay, it's cool.
But that's like issue 1. Issue 1 is sort of that. Yeah, he gets put on the boat, and the Vikings find him and raise him. That's kind of what issue 1 is. So, you know, and then he goes on and has the further adventures of, you know, this nomadic barbarian warrior, you know, fighting different monsters and wizards and shit. You know, the high adventure. You know, on this hallowed ground. Yeah. So yeah, Arak, Son of Thunder, Native American Heritage Month, another native character in comics. There you go.
Cool. All right, so the first book I'm going to do is a book that kind of pissed me off, but I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, where is that thing at? That Shazam Thor book.
Oh, did that piss you off?
It pissed me off. I'm gonna tell you why it pissed me off.
Well, I didn't read it because the other one pissed me off.
That one pissed me off too.
Yeah, I ain't
gonna
read that shit.
Right. Oh no, that pissed me off too. That shit, I was like, what the fuck y'all doing, Marvel? Why y'all doing this shit? Why y'all shoving this shit down our throat? So yeah, let me see if I can throw that up there. Oh, that's cool. Let's see if I can. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna do that. Do you see us? You don't see us. Anyway, point is, okay, so the book we're doing is Thor versus Shazam. The reason I hate this is because it's one of those Infinity comics.
Yeah.
I hate those things.
Did you read it on your phone?
On my tablet, but yeah. I mean, yeah, wait, how is you gonna read it?
That's how you're supposed to read. It's meant to be formatted for a phone or a tablet.
I don't like it like that. And the crazy thing is, yes,
I scroll. You're supposed to scroll up.
I hate that. I know you're supposed to do that, but I hate that. And I get it because the thing is, like 99.9% of the comics I read are digital. So I don't have a problem reading digital, but I don't like the format they're doing where you got to like scroll panel. I hate that shit, man. It takes forever. It felt like it's taking forever to do it. When you just sometimes comics are supposed to be read like you're supposed to look at every panel at once, and get in real time. You can absorb more information, but whatever. We're gonna talk about it. Okay. So let me see if I can get to this. I'm gonna just quickly review this thing, get the fuck away from it. So
it sucks.
Right.
that's the rating.
Two middle fingers up. So
fuck this book. That's my rating.
Right.
Are you gonna scroll through the whole fucking thing?
Hell, I don't think I got it. Shit. Oh, here we go. Okay. I'm gonna go through this fast as possible. Okay, the point is I'm gonna get through it fast, but just kind of give you a point of what the story is. So Donald Blake goes to the subway that leads to the Rock of Eternity, that where Shazam and the wizard and all this shit like that. The reason he's there is because he can't turn back into Thor. Like somebody has stole his powers. So he don't know who stole his powers, and that's when you get and you got Shazam's just flying over him, so like that, like he got powers like that, and that's when what's the dude, bam, because so Shazam tells Thor to give him power, or he basically transferred his lightning to Thor, but since he's doing it, he can't turn into Shazam, so it's like one of the and that's when Mr. Mind shows up.
Okay.
Mr. Mind is an old school Shazam villain back in the 40s. Back then, he's just a little worm. That's it. But he's
little
like
there, man. Or is he little there?
Yeah, he's like little, like a worm.
Oh, okay. So he's like 2 inches tall.
Yeah, like that. But he's like Shazam's like worst enemy and shit like that. So what Mr. Mind normally does is he's like a little worm and shit like that. He'll crawl into like other heroes' like ear and mind control them. So now you fight, you don't know who's who, and he fight.
That
and he jumps.
Sounds gross.
Remember Wrath of Khan?
Oh, dude, I had a tick in my ear.
Okay, I'm not. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, fuck that shit, man.
Okay, move past it. Okay. The point is, Mr. Mind's here, huge, muscular, superpowers, all the shit like that. Because basically, what he's saying is that he stole a bunch of gods and demons' powers, which is just like Shazam got Achilles and Solomon and blah blah blah. He did the same thing, and one of his powers he stole was Thor, which is why Thor can't turn into it. So he stole Thor, Mephisto, Ra, the Kryptonian god, Mr. Mixioplicknick, Nightmare, and Darkseid, and some other people also. That I'm not reading the whole thing, but the point is he did evil in there twice because the only way he can get to the Rock of Eternity is what he's trying to do is get the Rock of Eternity to kill the wizard, kill Shazam, get all their powers, blah blah. Because the Rock of Eternity can go through the multiverse and time and all that shit like that. So if he gets the Rock of Eternity, he can basically control the multiverse. So yeah. So that's when Shazam turns back to Shazam, but he turns back to Shazam. Thor turns back to Donald Blake. And then, Mr. Mind becomes Thor. So, so they got to kind of go back and forth between, because they can't be both at the same time. And before he's about to kill the wizard, that's when Shazam is just like, well, we can't turn into each other at the same time. He's like, yes, you can. Take my staff. He's like, what am I doing with staff? Tap it down one time. And he taps it, and bam. So now we hit an answer to the question. Is Shazam worthy of Mjolnir? Yes, he is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like, okay, cool. I'm worthy of Hammer. So now he's Shazam, Thor is Thor, and they beat the shit out of Mr. Mind. And that's pretty much it. So But actually, Mr. Mind actually beats the shit out of them. My fault. He beats the shit out of them because he's got like the power of Darkseid and Misty Mixer-Plicnic, and he takes the Thor's hammer away from him. But even though he's not worthy, it's just like on the ground and shit like that, so it's just stuck there. So like, fuck it, I don't need to be worthy. I need to just tap it one time, and then I can get the powers of Thor. But he doesn't know the enchantment. If you tap the staff, it turns into the hammer. But if you tap the hammer, it turns into the staff, which turns Mr. Mind back into a 2-inch worm. So yeah.
Oh, so he wasn't a 2-inch worm before.
No, he was like a huge brolic.
That's what I said. I was is he big or is he small?
When you saw it before, he was big. Like he was bigger than them.
Yeah, when he was all like buff and shit and swole.
Yeah, he was bigger than them, like 10 feet tall.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was like,
yeah, but now
still like a worm size. That's
they tricked him, they outsmarted him, and then he turned back into a worm. So then so before he could chase Shazam to get his powers back, the wizard takes away his voice because he got like a little voice box. That's where he speaks from. He made a voice box for himself. So yeah. So he was like, some gods have some issues with the powers you stole. How about we start with Darkseid first? And then he throws him into the apocalypse like that. And I think that's the story. I think that's it. So yeah. That's it. Done. Okay. And that was pissed me off. And like, why are they doing this shit? They just gave me just a regular ass. They could have just made this a regular format. They could have gave me that. And I would have bought it. I would have paid money for that.
So there was no like Thor villains or anything?
No, it's kind of lopsided. It's just, we're going to talk about the Fantastic Four shit.
Yeah,
like that.
Same shit.
We're going to talk about that. It's the same thing. It was just, but they only fought one villain in this. It was just a Shazam villain.
But it was a DC villain, yeah.
It was a DC villain, but there was no, whatever, like the whole Mr. guy. I know we're not.
Wasn't Mr. Mind focused on one of the crises? The focus in one of the crises.
I don't think so. No, not in any crisis I read. He wasn't. Yeah, I don't think he ever showed up in any one of the crises. Like I think, like he may have shown up, but he wasn't like the main thing or anything like that, or even a focal point. He may have just been a background character, from what I remember. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all could have gave me just oh no shit.
Oh shit, sorry.
Oh fuck.
I was coughing. I didn't want to like. Okay. Hi.
Oh no. Okay.
I was trying to mute the mic so I didn't cough in everybody's ear.
Oh, Gabe, you seen his face. You got to go. He's coming after you next. Well, so that's the thing. So the thing is, I could have just, I don't know why they force you to read this Infinity bullshit. Just give me the regular ass comic. Because I wanted to read this comic. I wanted to read it in a regular format, but they're going to do this shit and I can't read it. So, but I read it. It is what it is. Like I said, it's a throwaway book anyway. It don't really fucking matter. It's just them just doing shit. But yeah. Like super quick too. That's why there's just like Mr. Mind and nobody else. Like no Loki, no Enchantress, no other Shazam villains.
Yeah,
no
Black Adam. It was just a DC villain with the Marvel character thrown in.
Right.
A DC hero and villain with a Marvel character just standing there.
Yeah, because like Thor didn't have to be here. It could have just been him and Shazam. But
that's
Thor
what I
just
felt about the Fantastic. We'll get into the Fantastic.
We'll get into that. You'll get into that. So yeah, but that's all I got. Like I said, this book is. I'm gonna say like the story itself was fine, 3 out of 5. I just hate the format. That's all. That's what pissed me off, the format. So yeah, I hate those Infinity books. Please stop shoving that shit down our throat. We don't want it. Stop giving it to us. So that's all I got. So what you got next?
Should I do Predator? Fuck it.
Sure.
That's what I've been wanting to talk about all night.
Fuck Frankenstein.
Yeah, like I was burnt out. Like I've been watching this shit, reading reviews and watching reviews all week. So I was like kind of burnt out on Frankenstein. But Predator Badlands #1. This is the Marvel tie-in prequel comic. So this takes place before the movie.
Okay.
So did you see the Predator movie yet?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I'll get around to it eventually.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Let me have it. I don't care.
This is Deck. It has, the character, the main character of the new Predator Badlands movie is a Yautja runt outcast of his tribe named Deck. And he's trying to prove himself to his tribe and to his asshole father. And his brother helps him out. So he gets his father gives him a mission. Okay, you want to prove yourself? Prove you're not a little shit, go to this planet and retrieve this technology. And it turns out it's some alien technology from some alien race that crash landed on this planet thousands of years ago. And he has to get aboard the ship and find this like defense alien technology and bring it back to his father. Turns out that alien technology is like some techno virus fucking warlock from the New Mutants, fucking John Grey Crow type shit, where it just morphs and transforms and all these weaponry and shit.
Well, damn, okay.
And it basically turns into this giant robot transformer, you know.
Benjamin Percy didn't write this, did he?
No, it was Ethan Sachs.
Okay.
You know, and he basically has to fight this robotic AI defense system that's on board this ship, and he fights it. Eventually he destroys it, but he ends up destroying the actual component that, you know, makes the technology. So Intune fails the mission, and that's basically what leads into the beginning of the movie, where his father
thinks he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, and it says, and it says to be continued in the new Predator Badlands movie. But that's cool. It's cool action, you know. Again, a predator going somewhere, going on a hunt, getting into some shit, fighting, you know, it's like another barbarian on a quest. And that's all this book was. Cool little action story. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's probably my book of the week. It was kind of a slow week this week.
Yeah, it kind of was, but yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoyed this. This is a 4 out of 5, and it's a cool little companion piece to the new Predator movie. So, yeah, cool art, cool story. Yeah, 4 out of 5.
Cool. All right, next book we're going to do, like I said, we did one bullshit book. Let's do another bullshit book. Okay. But DC this time. Hold on, before we do that, let's click into it. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what Gabe got here. No, not Phalanx. It wasn't Phalanx. No, that's an X-Men thing. He's saying Phalanx like. Yeah.
Oh,
I hope that's what Eli was saying.
Is he talking about like the technology thing?
The technology thing, because that's what the Phalanx did in the X-Men.
Yeah, it like morphed and built shit. Kind of like, do you remember those War Machine comics where Rhodey could like turn the War Machine? Yeah. Huh. Yeah, like a long while ago, where I thought that was dope, where he was like basically turning the War Machine or the armor into like a transformer.
Can't turn into Cyborg. I'm not digging this, man.
I thought that was dope. Or what's it, Super Patriot? Remember Super Patriot from Image? Where he could do that shit. He could extend his arms and do all kinds of weird, you know, mechanical shit with his body. Yeah. Kind of like that. He could morph his mechanical, like a T-1000 almost, you know. That's kind of reminded me of a T-1000.
Yeah, I didn't like that War Machine story when they did that. That's why they kind of like did it in. Let's just put him back to normal.
Oh, really? Because I thought that's the one I liked.
He was like in space and shit. No, like, what the fuck is this, man? I like, no. All new, all different War Machines. Okay.
That was like when I first got the Marvel app. Like back, like right when the first Avengers came out and I had a phone.
Yeah.
Like I remember the Blackberries.
You had a Blackberry? Okay.
I had a Blackberry, but then I traded it in for like an Android. So it was my first like full screen kind of like smartphone that I ever had, like an Android. And that's when there's all these apps, and I got the Marvel. Oh, I could read comics on my phone. And I remember reading those War Machine. Those were some of the first books I read on my phone.
I feel sorry for you, but okay.
I thought the shit was dope, man.
All right. So, like I said, the second book I'm going to do is what was this? Fantastic Four
in the Flash.
In the Flash, yeah, number 1. Okay, so the other one was on Marvel Unlimited. This is on DC Universe. Also, one of them bullshit. They don't call them Infinity Comics. They call them Go Comics.
Something.
They're the same thing. They just call them something different. That's all. Yeah, it's all bullshit. That's all you need to know. So, yeah. Like I said, another book that if they would have just put out a regular ass format, I would have read it. That would have been cool. But no, y'all want to do this shit. So yeah. So we're gonna fly through this one just like we did the other one. Let's just go to it and see. Let me see if I can pull it up without crashing everything. I'm so shocked we haven't crashed. I thought for sure it's gonna be a disaster, but yeah. All right. So you got Reed Richards doing his thing, with the weird ass eyeball and shit. Normally his eyeball sticks out more than that, but you got the rest of the family is playing like a Gotham City Monopoly board game.
Gotham Monopoly or something.
Gotham Monopoly like that.
Monopoly or something. What was it called?
Gothopoly or something.
Gothopoly or something.
Yeah. And then thing just like, wait a minute, is that a big ass monkey in the thing? And they think they're trying to distract him so he can like cheat and shit like that. But no, it's a big ass monkey. It's bam, Gorilla Grodd. Gorilla Grodd is there. The reason Gorilla Grodd is there because he heard about the machine that Reed Richards is making, some kind of thing, some kind of pen that I don't know what the pen does. Someone would do tachyons or some shit.
Fucking portal shit.
Some shit. Whatever it is, yeah, Gorilla Grodd wants it.
Reed Richards shit.
Reed Richards shit. He just know he wants it. So yeah. So he mind controlled. So the thing is, Gorilla Grodd, he's a telepath. He's a telepath, but he can only control one person at a time. So he kind of like hops from person to person, making a fight each other and shit like that to make one to go. And then the Flash shows up all of a sudden also because he knew Gorilla Grodd was gonna be there. He shows up in the bin and they blah, 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 fighting all this shit like that. And then they fight each other, but they don't know if Flash is a good guy. Also, because they never met Flash before, never heard of Flash before. So Sue Storm does some, whammy jammy shit to knock him out, and then they think they're finna fight him, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, it's clobbering time," And then what happens? Oh yeah, so then Reed Richards, I think, gets taken. No, Sue gets taken over because of Gorilla Grodd doing some Gorilla Grodd shit, and then Mr. Fantastic does some shit with that pen. And he double taps the pen and teleports him into the far future, So now they got to find a way to get back, shit like that. So yeah, he does this stretchy. Now that was a cool panel.
I was saying, like, at least with this book, they used that format to like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When they did that, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give you a little credit on this.
Yeah, so. They were using the format to fit the story, or the art was fitting the format, or how, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it like that was, I was like, okay,
utilizing the format,
Yeah, with that. So he clicks the pen, sends it to the far future because they're like some kind of tachyon time travel, whatever, like that. So like that. And they go to the far distant future in the 30th century, where of course Flash's worst enemy is there. Which one? Reverse Flash is there. And he's there to kill Barry, and they want to know, like, do you know this guy? Is he a fan or he hates you? Like, both. So yeah. So the thing is, we got to hurry and get the fuck out of here before this guy breaks through the invisible
That should
force.
be a cereal. Killberry cereal.
Right. So they're trying to get back to the future, shit like that. She was like, can you form this force field into anything you want? She's like, of course I can, because basically Sue Storm is a Green Lantern, basically. So yeah. So she turns her force field into the Fantastic Car, and then she ties it to a Flash. You're like, okay, everybody hang on. I'm about to do some Speed Force bullshit. So he's about to enter the Speed Force. And what he's doing, that when he enters Speed Force, he's basically he's bouncing off every speedster to get back to the current time. So the first piece he bounced off to is his grandson, Bart Allen. For those that didn't know about Young Justice, you know who Bart Allen is. Sorry, he goes to Jay Garrick first. Jay Garrick, old school, tell him where he's at. He's fighting somebody. Then he gets to Bart Allen. Like I said, Bart Allen got his own fan base. Bart Allen is distracted. He sees his granddad. He's like, hey, granddad, is that a giant rock? Who is that guy? He like, Bart, concentrate. Ain't you fighting the bad guy right now? They're like, oh yeah. And then beats that guy's ass. And then he goes to Wally. He sees Wally, and Wally's like, hey, Bear, you need a speed boost? He's like, yeah, I need a speed boost, but I need to get a little bit faster to get back where I'm at. So, okay, I'm gonna get you a speed boost. You ready? Then he tells everybody in the Fantastic Car, okay, y'all better hang on because we really better go fast. Like, what the hell were we doing before? So then they really get the fuck out of there, and then they finally get back to present time. And Gorilla Grodd got his hands on all of Reed Richards' shit. And when they finally get back to present time, he's like, it's clobbering time, And that's when Gorilla Grodd activates the thing, and he shorts his own brain out, turns himself into a dumbass monkey. Because, Reed Richards sabotaged the shit. So that's why he wanted he purposely sent the Fantastic Four to the 30th century to get them out the way, because he wanted Grodd to get that thing. He didn't want them to stop him. And he knew just the way Flash was talking, Flash was a genius, a scientific genius also. They knew a whole bunch about tachyons. So he knew he'll figure out a way to get his family back. Reed don't give a shit.
That panel is where I was like, fuck this shit.
Right. You go, like, really?
I was like, oh God.
Yeah. And then you got Reed and Flash blabbing about tachyons and all that shit like that. Like, we don't give a fuck what y'all saying, man. And then I think Flash jumps in, done the Monopoly game too, and then So yeah, another bullshit story. That's okay. It's fine. I just hate the format. That's okay. I'm fine with the bullshit story. I don't expect this shit to be high art. I don't expect this shit to be Frankenstein. You know, Mary Shelley's Prometheus story. I don't expect it. I know this is stupid shit. I expect it. I just hate the format. Give me just a regular ass comic. I would have bought it. I would have read it. I would have been, like, and just would have been throwaway shit. That's it.
Yeah, they're just trying. They're trying.
They really trying to push that infinity bullshit down our throats. They did the comics are worth it. Damn, it should be on there. Every now and then they have a nice panel. But the thing is, they have so many of them. Like, if you go, honestly, Eli, they've ruined the Marvel Limited app for me. They have, because every time, okay, when DC Universe comes out, they have a different format. You got like the regular comics come out, and then the DC Go bullshit, but it's a separate category. Okay, this shit and Go shit here. Unlimited, they don't give a fuck. They just throw all. Okay, you got 10 new Unlimited, Infinity comics, and you got
they're really pushing.
Yeah, and you got to sift through that shit to find the actual comics you want to read. No, motherfucker, I just want to read Ultimate Black Panther 15. Can I find that shit? No, I got to sift through this bullshit first before I get the shit I want to get to. So that's
I reviewed a bunch of when I was writing for A Tribe Called Geek. I reviewed a bunch of like there was like a bunch of Warpath comics and like an Echo comic storyline and Danny Moonstar. There's a bunch of like throwaway characters. They throw that shit on.
Right. Like, why are y'all doing this shit? You see we don't want it. You know we don't want it. Why you keep giving it to us? Like,
yeah, they're trying
we want to see Flash Fantastic Four. Why you forcing it with this shit? So
but this storyline, like, again, this just felt like a Flash comic. Like the Fantastic
there
Four.
was no Fantastic, there was no Doctor Doom, no Galactus, no Rightful Four, no Inhumans, none of that shit. So
they were just kind of there, standing there, and this was just a Flash story. So there really wasn't a Fantastic
But
Four
I kind of forgive it because it was on DC's app. Okay, so you telling a DC story where the Fantastic Four kind of just there, but at the same time, on the Shazam book, that was a Marvel book.
And there was no Thor villains or anything.
And Thor was just there.
It was just a Shazam story. It's just DC stories with Marvel characters just kind of standing around.
Right. Like, this shit got to, what the fuck y'all doing? I don't know, man. Like I said, we both know that both these throwaway stories. We know that. I just wish they didn't put it in this format. That's all.
I was kind of hyped that, because we saw the Batman and the Deadpool, like that the DC crossover book we read last month or whenever it was. And that was kind of fun and cool. And I saw, there's another one. So I'll check it out. And I read the first one and I was like, eh. And then I saw the Thor and Shazam. I was like, fuck that.
They're not putting much effort in this shit. It's just like, this feels like a rough draft. I'm gonna just write this shit on the side with some other shit going on. Just finish shit. Just do the shit. Like, they not putting much thought into this shit. Which I ain't gonna say I don't think they should, but whatever. You got the crossover. It sells itself. If you want to see that shit, it sells itself. So yeah.
And then they're gonna see if whether or not people are into this format, the Infinity line,
Because we got to get through all this bullshit before we can get Secret Crackers.
Because I get it. They're trying to reformat books, and for the digital age, maybe they thought this whole comic strip, because that's what it kind of reminds me of, like a comic strip. In a newspaper where you only get like 3 or 4 panels,
right? 3 or 4 panels in that city. So
it forces you and me.
Eli, I'd almost wish they do that. Give us 3-4 panels a week.
Yeah,
split this shit up.
A week.
Yeah, just do that shit. Like in the Sunday papers, you give us 3-4 panels a week. You read that shit. Okay, then hit us with another one. Hit us with another one. Hit us with another one. Like the old Dick Tracy.
Spider-Man, they had Spider-Man comics and shit back in the day.
Did you ever read like those Dick Tracy comic strips and shit like that?
Yeah.
All that shit was like entertaining as hell, man.
Yeah, and they were actual full chapters. Yes, there was always a to be continued, but there was actually a full storyline. It is how challenging that must be to write.
Right.
So,
I mean, I feel like they already wrote the shit out and just throw the shit up and just split it up. That's it. Like, but I'd almost prefer they did that than give us this shit. I'd almost be into that.
Yeah, I think the whole scrolling thing, like that panel where Reed's arm stretched down the screen, that was pretty cool. I think that if they're gonna do that, they need to utilize the format more instead of just scrolling and where am I supposed to stop scrolling You know what I mean? Like, make it
Yeah,
work.
because at least when you're turning a page, okay, that's a break in this part right here.
And then
like there's no break in this. It's just going.
You can see the whole image and you can see the whole scene.
You can't get a splash page. None of this shit. Like none of the shit that the medium takes advantage of.
Yeah, like splash pages are like meant for a dramatic effect, and
right, and you can't have that, right?
So other than that panel with Reed stretching, I feel like
I hate this format. It needs to go away. It needs to die now,
or develop it more to where it's not where it doesn't suck. That's what I say.
Whatever it is, it don't work now. Whatever it is, if they want to find it, but the way it is now, it does not work.
Do more shit to utilize the format to make it work.
I hope they do not think like, our job is done. No, the job is not done. This is bullshit. So
it'll be like those interactive VHS movies or something.
Right.
This is the future.
Right. Grand opening, grand closing. All right. So what you got next?
Should I do the Star Wars book? Han Solo, Hunt for the Falcon, number 3.
All right.
This takes place right before Force Awakens. 10 years, or no, it's not 10 years. It's like right before the Force Awakens.
Okay.
Old man Solo, him and Chewie hunting for the Millennium Falcon. Going through the scum and villainy underworld, trying to find who stole it, who sold it. And they find out that it's on Jakku, where Rey is.
That's when they found out it's on Jakku. Okay.
Yeah, and the Unkar Plut, that guy who Rey was working for, that he has it. We also get some flashbacks of kind of why Han left Leia. The turmoil in the relationship. They were agreeing the sort of disagreements on raising their son, Ben Solo. Who would become? Fuck's that guy's name again? What's his name again?
Seabreeze something.
The bad guy and the fucking Kylo Ren.
That guy, yeah.
I couldn't remember that shit. We get a little bit of flashbacks of them, their past before they kind of broke up, But what I liked about this book is there's a moment where Han and Chewie get into an argument. Because it turns out Chewie has been talking to Leia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
About Han's behavior and what. So, they're like in the cockpit talking, and Chewie's like, maybe
he broke the bro code. Yeah.
It's like, yo, man, maybe you should go, be more responsible. You're an adult, man. These days are behind you. You shouldn't, you're a father now. You should blah, 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 blah. He's like, where's this coming from? And you sound like Leia. You sound like my ex-wife. And he's like, well, yeah, I talked to her. Like, what?
Did you ever see that David, I think it was David Letterman or Conan O'Brien, where Harrison Ford was doing an interview and Chewbacca was in the audience?
Oh, no. No.
Yeah, and then like Harrison Ford stopped the interview. He was like, "You son of a bitch! You know what you did?" And he started.
That does sound familiar now. So Han gets all pissed off. Like, dude, you're talking to my ex-wife behind my back, and you're talking shit about me and how you guys are commiserating about my behavior. So they like get all pissed off, and you can see on this cover. That's basically what happens. They like almost start fighting. So I just thought that was hilarious. Yeah, we need more like soap opera with Han and Chewie just arguing.
Right.
So they're like fighting and arguing, but then the alarm goes off. Oh shit! Incoming ships. It turns out someone had ratted them out to Unkar Plut, and he's like sending in like ships to come kill him.
What that was the Gotcha Gang or the Gotcha Club or some shit?
No, this was Unkar Plut.
Okay,
the guy on Jakku.
Okay, gotcha.
So they's like, okay, we'll finish this conversation later. We got some shit to do. So Han gets on, I'm gonna show him I still got it. So he gets in the gun. So Chewie's piloting the ship. Han gets in the fucking in the turrets and starts taking all the ships out, shooting them down and shit. Like, see, I can still do this shit. I'm not an old crusty over the hill bastard like y'all say I am. I'm still on Solo, motherfuckers.
Right.
So then they get down on the planet and they see Unkar Plut and they got a bunch of crew surrounding them. They're like, oh, I hear you're looking for me. And that's kind of where it ends. So they're kind of, they got ambushed. They got ratted out. So to be continued. So yeah, this is just fun. I thought that was great. That's something I never knew I needed, was Han and Chewie arguing, getting into an argument. Like, we've seen them bicker before.
Right.
You laugh it up, fuzzball. The little bickering, but we never seen like straight up arguing over some personal shit. And it actually shows it actually shows like Chewie talking to Leia. And she's like, I can't stand it. Like, she's complaining about Han to Chewie, and Chewie's like, yeah. Like, damn, Chewie. What the fuck?
Damn, you broke the bro code, man.
So yeah, this is a 4 out of 5. I thought this was fun.
All right, give me just a second. Something happened. Oh man, I didn't get the thing I was supposed to get. Okay. All right. So I only got one book left. I guess I'm gonna do a book that I actually kind of enjoyed, if I can find it. Let's see. Oh well, we'll find a way to do it. All right. So the book we're going to do is Mr. Terrific. I was about to say Black Lightning.
Oh, I saw this. I read this.
Oh man, I didn't get this thing at all. I didn't set it up a lot. Oh, fuck it, we'll just talk about it. Okay, so Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific number 6, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Mr. Terrific, and I think it's the last book in the series. So I think this is it for this one. So let me do this thing. All right, so the book starts off, and we're just gonna just talk about it because I didn't do a thing on it. Yeah, so Mr. Terrific, the last book we left off there, Mr. Terrific and Black Lightning like whooped the hell out of some dude named Cormorant, some Matt All or some shooter that was out there just taking over shit like that.
Security force of what's her face?
Not Netherlight. Oh fuck! If I had a thing in front of me, I could tell you, but I don't have it in front of me.
That chick.
Yeah, the chick
head of that company.
Found it. Okay, got it.
That company.
Okay.
That company
Prescott. That's the name. Prescott.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We are completely unprepared for this one. I thought it was going to be prepared for.
Oh, you're doing it.
I'm doing it. Yeah. Blame it on me. I take the L on this. But yeah. All right. So the name of it her name was Prescott. That's her name. All right. So she's basically a minion of Darkseid. The whole thing she's trying to do is for this whole company's trying to do is build a boom tube so Darkseid can come to here and take over the world. That's what she's trying to do. That's the whole thing she's trying to do. And she basically absorbs some of the boom tube energy and becomes this new villain. I'm no longer Prescott. I am Netherlight. And then she like smacked the shit out of Black Lightning. He's down for the count. And then she I think flies off just like that. And then she's like, Darkseid is, because Darkseid's taking over her mind. And that's when she I think becomes a boom tube. She opens up a boom tube. And that's when Granny Goodness comes through with parademons and all this shit like that. Like, yeah, okay, it's on now. So now they're fighting the big dogs. All right, so basically Black Lightning just throwing bullshit at me. He can't do anything that's working. But Mr. Terrific, being Mr. Terrific because he's super smart, he knows how to stop this shit. Like, he's already prepared and prepped for this shit like that. Reason he's prepared for because Netherlight is using boom tube energy that actually Mr. Terrific's wife invented. So he knows how to contain that energy. So what he does, so when the boom tube opens up, he throws one of his T-spheres inside of the boom tube, and on the other side, it can absorb the energy of the boom tube. But Black Lightning said, but I thought you said that if you throw the T-sphere, it was going to blow up the city. You're like, yes, on this side of the boom tube. On that side of the boom tube, it's gonna blow up that side of it. It was on the side of it gets stuck in there. So he throws it in there. Black Lightning charges it up, and yeah, that's it. The boom tube blows up and she gets stuck on the other side. Yeah.
The boom tube goes boom.
Boom tube goes boom. Yeah. And so Granny Goodness stuck on the other side. Netherlight is stuck on the other side. And the day is saved. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Oh, and they Mr. Terrific goes to the grave site of the original Mr. Terrific. So for those that don't know, Mr. Terrific is a race swap second gen replacement character. For those who don't know that,
what the fuck?
Yeah, fuck sorry, y'all.
Shit. No,
sorry.
It's woke. I hate it now.
Yep. Bring back the white Mr. Terrific.
I'm gonna go eat some white bread now.
Right,
because wheat bread is woke.
Right. So yeah, and then he meets the Just Society of America, joins Just Society of America, blah blah blah. So yeah. Oh, and Bruce Wayne buys his company. So yeah. Meanwhile, we go to the future because that's where they're trying to set up the past to show what's going on right now. And now he's stuck in that same realm where he trapped Netherlight in, and he finds his son, Fairplay. Now, it's all coming clear what happened. So this complete retcon what's going on right now. So he thought his wife just died in a random car accident. She didn't. She was actually killed by Granny Goodness, because they knew the technology she was making, she was on the verge of learning how to make a boom tube. So they killed her by accident, and then the child that he thought would die, they took the child to Apocalypse. And the child grew up in Apocalypse the whole time, and now him and Fairplay are reunited. So he takes the child back to Earth and raises them, and yeah, and they just like, okay, well, I know I wasn't there for you when you raised. Oh, and that big demon dog is at the house with him too. So yeah. Oh, and the child Fairplay, what they don't know is that he's got like the dark side ears, eyeballs, and shit. So that may be an issue down the road. Yeah. Oh, and Netherlight is back on Earth also, and she gets recruited by Mercy Graves. Why? Because Lex Luthor knew she was going to be at that exact spot at that exact time. How he knew that? He's Lex Luthor. Who gives a fuck? That's how he knows that shit. So yeah. So Lex Luthor's going to recruit her. So to be continued. Well, to be concluded because the story's over. But yeah. So that's it. That's that.
Mr. Terrific Year 1.
Mr. Terrific Year 1. 6 issues. I think it'd be 12 issues, be a whole issue, but it wasn't that. But that's okay. Cool ass story. Bunch of retcons, kind of to reconfigure Mr. Terrific in it, because Mr. Terrific does kind of have a convoluted backstory because they keep updating the DC universe continuity, but not his stuff. So it kind of doesn't make sense. So now they kind of update and stuff like that. So yeah, so Granny Goodness killed his wife and all this shit. I can't read that.
All right, gentlemen. It's been real. Have a good. Oh, thanks for listening, Gabe.
Yeah, thanks for listening, Gabe.
Thanks for hanging out. It's fun.
Yeah. Been a while since you've been here, Gabe.
We go way too late and way too long lately.
Yeah, but appreciate you being in here, Gabe. I know it's been a while since you checked us out, so appreciate you jumping in with us. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about, Mr. Terrific. It's been a fun ride. Like I said, that issue we teamed with Black Lightning was definitely the highlight of this book. All this whole run is like that. But if y'all want to get some good Mr. Terrific and just find out what he is, I recommend the series.
Fun series. I learned a lot. Okay. I didn't get all the references, but I did learn a lot. Like, you know,
like I said, a lot of this is retcon. So a lot of this shit they just making up, just put out the ass like right now on the spot.
Well, it was a cool sort of companion piece to the movie, to the Superman movie, you know. So, and that's why I read it. I was, oh, he's in the Superman movie. The only time other shit I know about Mr. Terrific was he on Arrow or Flash? He was on the CW.
Which we don't count that shit.
That's the only other. That's all I know about Mr. Terrific was from that shit. And the random times he's shown up in whatever comic I was. I didn't really know much about him. So I picked this up and yeah, it was cool. It was cool to like get a little insight into the character.
So yeah, it's fun that they kind of updating his canon and his lore and the mythology for the new DC universe. So that's all cool also. So yeah, anything else you got? Or
I got my last book is Transformers number 26.
Transformers number 26. Let me get you in there.
The Energon universe on Image. Transformers and G.I. Joe is crossing over into one shared universe in the comics, and it's been cool. And we have Kirkman. Kirkman took over at the last issue, number 25. And we are still feeling that sort of transition. New team, new writers and artists. And yeah, it's sort of transition. Not as emotional as Daniel Warren Johnson's run. But this is very much setting up these new plot lines. So basically what the bulk of this book, it juggles a lot of plot lines that's going on, but the bulk of this book is about Thundercracker. And spoilers, he ends up joining the Autobots. Thundercracker is one of the jets, with Starscream and Skywarp. Optimus Prime has met with General Flag, and who's from G.I. Joe, who claims, hey, I got a bunch of Energon to help you guys fight these Decepticons. So Prime goes back to the base to Teletran 1, and where the Decepticons has taken apart Skywarp, another jet, and has been using him to power their base. So Prime offers, and Thundercracker's there. Thundercracker's a jet, Decepticon. So, hey, we will repair your friend. We will repair him for you. and we're not trying to. We just want to, you're from Cybertron. We're not trying to start shit, but we have enough energy to repair him and bring your brother back. And Thundercracker's very skeptical still, but they do it. Prime has the Autobots put Thundercracker back together, or not Thundercracker, Skywarp back together.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Skywarp wakes up and he's pissed. He starts attacking the Autobots. Like, what the fuck? I'm surrounded by Autobots. So he starts attacking them. This is a Decepticon. And Thundercracker's like, yo. She tries to make him chill. He's like, hey, man, just chill. They repaired you. They're cool. And Thundercracker's like, or no, Skywarp is like, what? You're a traitor. You're joining the Autobots. And Thundercracker's like, dude, the Decepticons ripped you apart and was using your energon to power their base.
Right.
So Skywarp is like, no, fuck that. I'm a Decepticon, and they must have been doing it to further the Decepticon cause, and I'm always a Decepticon. So basically, he shoots up the place and takes off. Mad drama. And then Thundercracker's like, shit. Well, I guess I'm an Autobot now.
Can't go back. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically what happens in this book. There's other storylines. What's going on? We have the shit that was going on in Chicago with with the humans and Miles Mayhem.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
From Mask. So now the Mask has now entered the fray. Miles Mayhem is also working with the G.I. Joe team, and he's studying like how the Transformers can like transform.
Mm-hmm.
The Cybertronian tech, how they can transform.
Yeah.
And he ends up shooting the only other scientist that knows about it.
Damn. Okay.
So it's like, hey, has anybody else seen this, how this technology works? And the scientist is like, no, I've never seen this. Okay. Well, the less people who know about this is the better. And then bam, just shoots them. So that's cool. Like, well, not that he shot the guy, but
right.
It's like setting up like this is probably how Mask gets their technology. Was through the Transformers. Because, for those who don't know, Mask was a cartoon about a team of crime fighters or whatever that their vehicles can change into other vehicles. Cars that can transform into planes, helicopters that transform into jets, semis that transform into tanks. That's what Mask was. And Miles Mayhem was was the main villain. So this is probably how he's going to, in this story arc, how he's going to develop the Mask technology. So I just thought that was really cool. And then there's a story arc with on Cybertron where some of the Autobots are still reeling from the battle that happened, and some of them are still pissed off at Prime for being on Earth and not helping out the cause on Cybertron and shit.
Right.
And then of course Megatron has just woken up, but now he's having weird visions, and that's kind of where it ends. So again, still in that transitional mode with Kirkman and the new team taking over, and just kind of setting up future plot lines. So still cool. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's still lacking that emotional depth that Dana Warren Johnson had, but it's still cool. It's still fun. So 4 out of 5. And cool. I believe I'm booked out.
Okay, cool. Like I said, I'm booked out also. No more Infinity Comics, no more Go Comics, no more just Terrific Comics.
Yeah, I read the Fantastic Four, and I read Mr. Terrific.
Right. So more or less read the same thing. So yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, I'm pretty booked out.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, if you listen this long, if you like, share, subscribe. Appreciate Gabe for jumping into it. Appreciate Mob, but I know he eventually will listen to it. So appreciate him also.
Yeah, shout out
if you all you're gonna need to do is listen 30 seconds and you upgrade the algorithm. Eli, we probably won't do this format, this weird ass shit again, because I'm looking at the analytics, which it could be. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I wonder how people see. Should I check on you? Let me check on YouTube real quick on my.
Well, like I said, it's gonna do both.
And just see how it looks. I'm curious to see how it looks because it should. We're streaming right now, right?
Yeah.
So let me. I'm just like while we're still on the stream, let me take a look and just see how.
If you jump, is it gonna do like some weird like stepping into the multiverse type shit? Because we're streaming. You're gonna look into the stream of the stream of the stream.
I just see two. Oh yeah, there is two of them.
There is two of them.
One of them is no, it's two of them. Yeah, there are two, there's two streams going.
So weird.
That's
Okay.
Weird. In
Okay.
stereo.
I don't know. The multiverse, but yeah.
Like
like I said, check out us next week. We'll find something to talk about. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.